Opposed? Okay,
Mr. Chairman,
Alderman Barzak.
the reason you're in, you have one little blemish on your record. And it's a few years ago, and it was underage drinking, and I think you did list it.
Yes.
But it's the committee all the time when there's a blemish, especially when it comes to alcohol, because you're going to be responsible for keeping those people who are too young, like yourself, that tried to drink, not to drink. So
Yes.
that's the reason you're in here. It's really minor. We have a lot of things on here with a lot bigger records, and they're in a lot more trouble. So with that, I'm going to move for approval.
Second.
Any further discussion?
We're gonna give her the lecture too?
Yep, you want you to do it.
Well, here's the, have you bartended anywhere before?
Yes, I actually had my bartending license in Oak Creek. For,
Oh, I've never seen that, yeah.
Yeah,
So I don't know about Oak Creek, okay?
I didn't have any meeting like
Yeah.
this.
But
so
it-
that's,
well-
I assume that's what I was called here for, but I wasn't sure that's what I was walking into. So
So in West Dallas, we want you to be a partner with the city.
okay,
When you see a problem, call the police. There may be an occasion when the police send somebody in there not of legal age to buy cigarettes or alcohol. So make sure you card people, because we have an actual program where we do that. you know,
Okay.
So make sure you card people. I know a lot of places will fire you if you get caught in that sting situation. I don't know.
Yeah.
How your boss is gonna.
I'm sure my boss would. Yeah.
The other problem we have is when we read our police reports, it's like people are highly intoxicated. Okay, so you've recently taken the class.
It was a couple of years ago now.
But you do remember that's illegal for a licensed bartender to serve somebody that's drunk. I actually,
Yes.
because I bartend also, I actually use that
Okay.
as an excuse to somebody. It's like, you know what, I'd really love to serve you, but it's against the law. You're drunk.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
what
so-
I did over in Oak Creek too.
yeah,
you
so-
know.
So, because that's where 99% of our problems come from is people who've been overserved.
Yeah, we
So-
actually, because we did open. I've been working under people because mine hasn't gone through yet. But we've only been open a month, and we've
Yeah.
already been kicking people out before we could even serve them. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So, any action that this committee takes tonight still has to be voted on by the entire council,
Okay.
which will be the first Tuesday in March.
Next Tuesday.
Next
That's
Tuesday.
pretty quick.
Next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, right.
And then you would likely either pick it up on Wednesday, or if you don't pick it up on that following Wednesday, they'll mail it to you.
Okay.
So.
Okay, is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries.
Sorry you had to come in.
well, thank you,
Little
thank you
blemish.
guys.
Yep.
Sonia?
That's it, you're done.
Oh, that
You
was
can leave.
easy.
Sonia Bautista?
See any open dumpsters, close the lids.
Yeah.
Got it.
Sonia
And pick
Bautista?
up number 2. Got it. You guys have a good night. Thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you.
we'll wait for that one. Okay, number 4, just a communication. I guess an agreement, well, they have paid for the 13 and they've made an agreement.
Yeah, they just have to sign the agreement. It was drafted, and the city attorney's secretary is going to call them in to have them sign it.
So this is the place on file?
Yes, please.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Let's see, then we have, let's see, oh. Sarah Reamer,
Yeah, that's Sarah and Mary Jo again.
right, Mary Jo. Okay, come on up. We have 5, we have 6, and we have 7, and we have 8. Okay, I just got here a little bit before you, so I wasn't able to talk to everybody on your phone call, just so you know.
Can you do that?
Let's see what we can do. Well, we're on there. Okay, you know why you're here?
Yes. Well, I'm not sure of the January incident, so it's you that you listed.
January 10th.
That was an attempt armed robbery?
Oh, so that, I got.
Was that the
called in for
January 10th?
that?
No,
I thought that was the
no.
18th,
Oh,
actually.
it was the 18th.
The 10th, I'm not sure.
What was the 10th?
I don't know. You had listed on there, we didn't, we got a reporter. as to why.
18th was the robbery.
Attempt armed robbery.
Purse.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
the purse is
snatching,
stolen. The purse.
Missing
The
purse.
stolen purse?
Oh,
No,
yes. I didn't mean to remind you.
No.
I heard.
well,
Okay, sorry.
granted, this isn't a tavern violation, but it's just something, and oh, your camera didn't work or something.
you have a camera that just, so you can watch from the office or the basement, but it doesn't record. You know, recorders are really cheap now, you know that.
I talk to people, I don't know how to do it. I don't know where to get the DVR to go into
It's
it.
actually Sam's Club sells them for like $300. It's the whole thing. It's got
Okay.
instructions. I'm not endorsing.
No,
any
I
particular brand
understand
or
what you're saying. I
model.
appreciate that information.
And there's companies out there that will install them for you.
You may have a customer.
Apparently, it's just a DVR, the it's
That
50
simple.
bucks or something.
Yep,
Right.
it's almost like
yes.
a VCR.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
So it's almost kind of worthless just to have. I mean, I understand when you're in the office, you can watch, but
We'll have that by tomorrow, it will be recording.
So, and then,
ours is recording as we speak.
Correct.
Yes. Because you can watch this on YouTube.
And so I don't know.
Okay,
so
then-
I know
Everybody
it's-
else knows
Right.
that we don't have a recording
Yeah, but you
camera.
can fix that tomorrow.
Yes, we will have that fixed tomorrow.
so then it leaves the one incident on December 18th. That was well, I don't know if it was a near riot or just out of riot, out in the street, where police officers were chasing people through yards, endangering the neighborhood, endangering themselves. I don't know how it got so out of hand, but it's just like, you're in here constantly for something or other.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt. We had the short meeting because not everyone was here, the snowstorm night. Of all the times I've been here, that one definitely called me in. That bartender got fired the next day. That whole incident was, of all the times I've been here, that for sure I should be in here in front of.
Well,
but
this,
that bartender got fired the very next day. That was,
if I recall, this was where she just pushed everybody out the door into the neighborhood.
I was amazed.
That's not taking care of the problem. Now it's the neighborhood's problem.
I agree.
You know, and
I 100%
I've said
agree.
this probably when you first got here and everything, is that you have to live with the neighborhood, they don't have to live with you.
Absolutely.
And this is just getting to be too much and everything else.
Well, and I cannot believe after I've had discussions with the bartenders about our incidents right now and what's going on. I agree with all of you for me to be here for that one, us to be here for that one. I don't have anything to say except
I'm amazed no one got seriously hurt.
Mr. Chair, if I could.
Alden Weigel.
You know, I hate to say it, you know, two of the people in that incident claimed that they were gang members. You know, whether they were or not, that's the kind of customer you're attracting. I don't know what it is.
that.
You know, is
The
it
one who
music you
was
play?
a neighbor. It's not like there is that going on there.
Customers don't come with resumes.
Well, I understand that, but, you know, this isn't the first time you've had a problem like this.
But it's certainly not a gang-related bar or a gang hangout or.
Continuous issues with gangs. I mean, if we're not there, we can't see who's coming in. As soon as we hear about the problem, the doors are shut and
So my question is, when you fired this bartender, what was your reason actually for firing him? Did you say,
Absolute blatant stupidity.
okay,
You know better. How, and this is someone she does bartend at other places. I said, how did this even happen?
Yeah, 'cause the
and then
police
she lied to
reports-
me about the whole incident till I got the report. Everything she told me was a lie about what had actually happened. I said, how did you not stop us in the bar? Why didn't you call the police? What, why?
You could call the police a lot earlier. You probably would've ended up
Absolutely.
in
She
the
said
street.
that I didn't even know he was outside. I said, no, that's not what happened. You had a little incident in the bar, a little tiff. Anytime you have a little tiff in the bar, get it, handle it. I don't know how it progressed that far.
even if it
Amazed.
looks like something's gonna
Yeah.
go down.
Yeah, amazed
and
that
it
it
also
progressed that
speaks
far.
to customers being overserved. You know, people will do things when they're drunk,
Right.
things will set them off when they're drunk, that a normal sober person or a moderately devised person, this is about overserving customers again. You know,
Okay, then, does anybody else have anything on that police report?
No.
Because then we have item number 7, it's communication with the health commissioner, pending an update on Morgan Murphy Enterprises, Mary Jo Burbeck, as far as food-related permit.
081.
Sally, do you want to? Okay, this is,
I will say I have not paid the bill. I'm not interrupted service. I just don't have the money right now. It's being closed that week, and with getting rid of a lot of the clientele, business has been slow, but I'm not upset about it because I've got rid of a lot of crap, but.
okay,
As of 4:30 this afternoon, they said the account was suspended. They will not be picking up, and it's out for collection.
Okay, and I will take, I just didn't have the money. I just don't have the money. I was closed for the week, and I mean,
I understand that, but it's just, it's part of business. I can understand, I'm in business, I understand how you get in a situation like that, but it's another rock on the pile
I agree.
of problems that now the neighborhood has to deal with. And the neighborhood's fed up with it. Truthfully,
But my
I-
dumpsters aren't, the dumpsters aren't full, I mean, and I understand, it is suspended, and I know that's a violation, I understand that. The neighbors, I'm not sure which neighbor you're talking about, because many of the neighbors have said to me, do you want me to come to a meeting with you? You know, you did this benefit for us, for my mom. There's 3 neighbors that I've kicked out that obviously don't like me, but, my yard is not a mess, we fixed up the bar, I clean up the yard every day. Again, like I said, last summer, I had the issue, but, and it is, it's just, I just don't have the money to pay it. I will pay it, I've talked to them about it, I guess that's all I can say about it.
What would you do in our case? What would you do?
At
If
least
you're not
realize that, at
cooperating?
least realize that we're trying to work with you. We've gotten rid of the scum, we've gotten rid of bartenders, we're doing everything we can to turn it around there. You know, anyone else would have turned away and walked away.
But the reports keep coming.
Well,
That report was from December 18th, and since the last meeting, we promised that we would start making changes, and we have. That is from prior.
yeah, you know, we haven't had an instance, we haven't had fights, we haven't had issues that night, no, not even
Can't
noise,
help
not
being
even a
robbed.
noise.
Right, but you've been in a couple times, and did you see anybody else come in with 7 reports in the last 6 months?
I say none of our reports have ever been a terror violation. We've
they've
never had
health.
underage, we've never had, you know, unlicensed bartender, we've never had a violation, we've
You've
had
got
incidents.
2 people here, you're tying up their time.
I know.
I mean, these people.
proud of it.
Yeah, well, and we're not happy about it. And, you know, these 2 people are on the city payroll, and they're sitting there and they're babysitting you guys. And, you know, we're just supposed to sit back and do nothing?
But,
And just say, oh, good luck, go back to work.
and then when we got into the food violation, it wasn't just one time, it was numerous times. It took a while for you, before you registered, I can't do this. So it's like with everything that goes on. Now you're telling us this, and there's no money. What if there's no money a month from now? You know, it just, you know, we can't sit here, that's the, is that state or city code with the dumpster?
It's city.
City code. So I mean, you're in violation of the city code, we can't not look at that. You know, we have to look at that. I mean, there's a lot of other bars out there that don't have the problems, you know, and there's bars out there, I don't even know who they are, simply because they're never in front of us. You know, and so,
Yeah, but-
oh, what was that?
Alderman Chaplowski, thank you. And, you know, we shut you down once for a week. Where do we go? Where do we go from here?
It sunk in there. It did sink in there, but we can't. I mean, it's baby steps. We're trying to do as best as we can.
But we only have one next step. And then that's to revocate. And, you know, maybe help you out and say, you know, we'll shut you down if you don't have the money. I don't know. That's why we're asking you. I mean, you know, I don't know what to do. We're the ones that are liable here. We're the ones that are responsible for these 2 guys.
I feel like
Wait a
a
minute.
month, and I think a month is, we could use a little bit longer than a month to prove ourselves to you. Like we said, we took a hit with getting rid of all the customers at night on our Friday nights and Saturday nights. Those are big nights. I mean, we needed a little bit of time to prove ourselves to you. It's winter, it's slow.
Yeah, but
It's
there's
not
no
the middle of the
guarantee it's
summer when
gonna,
money's
there's no
coming in.
guarantee it's gonna pick up and that you're gonna have enough money for that,
Well, definitely garbage is
you know?
priority.
Mr. Chair,
Alderman Weigel.
now remind me, you're Sarah, you're the agent.
Yep.
You're Mary Jo, you actually own the business, but we wouldn't let you be the agent because of your background?
Correct.
Do you have a bartending license now? No.
No.
Okay. So the night of that armed robbery, or attempt armed robbery, who was working?
I was there, I had a licensed bartender in the premise.
And who was that?
The lady across the street, Danielle.
Danielle, what's her last name?
It's Sonia, I don't even know her last name. Sonia, she also works at 57 Bar.
So Danielle works for you.
Sonia, I'm sorry, I meant Danielle. Sonia,
Sonia works for you.
she does not work for me, but she's a licensed bartender.
So she just sits there, and what's her name? I didn't see her name in the police report, I don't think. Was she interviewed as a witness?
I don't know if she was or not.
For the holdup now?
Yeah, the attempt, hold up. I don't remember seeing Sonia in that. Yeah.
I don't know if they interviewed everyone or I was.
So you're working real hard at turning the business around. So you're personally working there a lot, even though you don't have a license.
I have someone in there to sit with me.
You have someone else, either an employee or a
Correct.
helpful
A
neighbor.
licensed bartender, correct.
A helpful neighbor
On
who
premise.
sits there and watches you bartend.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I need is to, you know, I don't want to, you know, I do play by the rules. I shouldn't say that, I don't mean that mean.
No.
You know, I
Don't
try.
play-
I
you
mean,
don't
I
play
really-
by the rules.
I-
I'll be honest with you, the woman across the street sitting at the bar with the license, that sounds far-fetched to me, honestly.
Oh, you're gonna ask the people. I said, you want, you're gonna lay upstairs. I'll get my license because, you know, she's upstairs. She'll get a bar's license just sitting there with me. Because I need to be there more, and I get that. Absolutely.
She can't be upstairs, she's gotta be on.
No, I mean, she lives upstairs. I'm sorry. She lives upstairs, so she would be
She
down in the
lives
bar.
above the bar?
Not
No.
that particular one. The gal who lives upstairs said, well, let me go get my license and I'll sit at the bar with you as well. And what am I gonna do if you don't let me have it? But I wanna be back
Well-
behind the bar to get rid of, to
Well,
clean this stuff
you
up.
could hire a licensed bartender, have them work, and you could be the person there overseeing, but I think it really behoove you to get a licensed bartender working for you.
I'm a better bartender than they are.
Well, you could still bartend, you know.
Right, well, at this point, I can't even afford one bartender, let alone.
Save them money.
Yeah, just, something I noticed in that police report, didn't
Sure.
seem like there was a licensed bartender
yeah.
on the premises.
Yeah.
The police didn't check, I understand they were there frying bigger fish that night, looking, dealing with that attempt on robbery.
Correct.
But,
Mr. Chairman,
Alderman Borzak.
the only thing I can see doing is one of two things, and either way, it's gonna take a summons and complaint to do it. So, my recommendation, and I'll make the motion in a minute, is to move forward with a summons and complaint. A summons complaint would go forward with another shutdown and possibly a revocation. If you can get, and it takes a while, a summons complaint's gonna take us a minimum, before we could take action, would take at least probably 2 months.
And we have a hearing, right?
Right, we gotta have a hearing, we gotta schedule a hearing, we're probably looking at 2 months. If you can get that turned around, during those 2 months, get that bill paid before that summons complaint, get that all taken care of, and show proof, I think it would help the committee make a decision possibly on the favorable side. If you don't do that, I can tell you where it's going.
Well, and I really appreciate the chance to be able to do that.
Well, if we could probably act next week, I think this committee might. I'm not sure about that, but it's
Uh-huh.
just the way the process works, is that it takes us to write the summons and complaint, gotta have the appearances, we gotta have a hearing, and that takes time. So I've seen these things go 6 months, back when we've actually had some bad ones. I don't think you were working here yet, but maybe you were. But anyways, they've gone a long time. So my recommendation is that we, as a committee, and the other aldermen might not agree with me, is that we move forward with a summons and complaint. And that gives you the time to prove that you're worthy of running a bar, because obviously with what we've seen, we're not thinking that. And that's gonna give you your opportunity. And at that point, if everything's all paid off, and they're all happy, and they got smiles on their faces, maybe we can view it different. I'm not sure.
Thank
But at least you're gonna have that opportunity. So with that, I'm gonna move, that we move forward with a summons and complaint.
I'll second that.
Okay, is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now, would you prefer us to just place these 3 police reports on file and hold the health commission report?
why
Or
don't you
should we
just-
just hold everything?
Why don't you just hold everything? That's probably the easiest to do that.
Okay, of course, fill them all out already.
And then, Ms. Burbank, you have 2 citations that were issued that you
Okay,
didn't appear
yes.
in court in, so I
Need to
need
pay
you
them.
to sign where it says the PR bond saying that
Okay.
you're gonna show up in court on March 23rd at 8:30.
Okay.
I don't have the citation numbers on
I
there.
know what they're, yes.
You know what
they're
they're, okay, I
yes,
just need you to
do.
sign on each of the
Okay.
bottom one, we'll give you a receipt for that.
Okay. If I pay them off prior to this, would that,
Right, then you wouldn't need to appear.
okay.
Okay, here's your receipt.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Go, yep.
Best of luck.
Okay.
Thank you, and I do appreciate that. We appreciate that.
Okay,
We'll prove you, we'll prove ourselves.
okay.
That's it.
Okay, what's the one on Hector?
We did do a stipulation with Mr. Guillermo. The terms of the stipulation are that he's going to surrender his bartender's license by April 1st, and then consider it done at that point.
April 1st.
So we won't have to go through a hearing or anything?
Correct.
April
Remove a hearing.
1st.
April 1st, yes.
How about March 1st?
The bar is not even open, is it? Is the bar open?
That I don't know. They're trying to sell the building, though. That's what the attorney told me, or trying to sell the bar, I should say.
Yeah, but the problem is the owner is,
Yeah, there's no owner, there's no
There's
agent,
nowhere
there's no,
Right, Lindsay isn't, I think,
No,
is either in
she's
Alabama
gone.
or Arizona
Yeah,
or
right.
somewhere.
she's
She's
someplace
not in
warm.
the state,
Yeah.
yes.
So has the bar been open all along, do we know?
I believe it has, well, it's not for the bar, it's just for the operator's license, the bartender's
Yeah, we're
license.
taking away his bartending license.
Right.
Yeah.
For this one here.
The one at the bar is waiting right now to figure out, I know a new applicant has come through, and if it just goes to the new applicant, then you wouldn't need to revoke the license, so just waiting. on
Okay,
that.
fine. So we're just gonna hold all this?
He's going to have signed the agreement stipulation tomorrow morning with him, 'cause he's doing a plea, he's expected to plead to his criminal case tomorrow morning.
Oh, so he's coming to court.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the criminal court, yes.
So we might as well just hold these until,
Next Tuesday?
Give it a
everything's signed and
consideration. That's what-
everything?
That's what Scott said to do, yes.
Okay,
So I have a copy of the one the attorney signed, and I gave it to Ann, so.
okay, wow. See, we're not gonna have the hearing? I think that's it then.
Move for adjournment.
See, I spent time waiting. Do I have a second? Did I hear a second?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
That was a lot quicker.